Hi children, how are you all? Hope you all had a good time. Yes, children, daily we eat food, isn't it? Why we are eating food? To get energy. We drink water, we eat different kinds of food, isn't it? So we get energy from the food we eat, isn't it? Yes, otherwise we won't be able to do any work. If we have energy, then only we can do the work. You can study properly, you can walk, you can run, you can jump, you can do all activities if you have energy. And this energy we get from the food we eat. So plants, animals, every living beings, all living beings need energy to do the work. Then only they can move from one place to another, they can do work. You travel on vehicles. You travel by car, by bus or van or scooter, bike, isn't it? Vehicles also need energy, yes or no? Do vehicles need energy to move, to run? To run the vehicles means for the vehicles to move. Do they need energy? Have you thought about that? Do vehicles need energy to run, to move from one place to another? Yes, vehicles also need energy to move from one place to another. How does these vehicles get energy? Yes, we fill petrol, diesel in the tank of the car or bus or scooter or bike. Then because of that petrol and diesel, it moves. If there is no petrol in the vehicle, it won't move, isn't it? So they move with the help of these petrol, diesel and all. The petrol, diesel, they are called fuels. Fuels, isn't it? Fuels. F-U-E-L-S, fuels. When we start the vehicle, the engine works or it gets heat and it releases energy with the help of the fuel. Or we say the substance that produce heat and release energy is called fuels. So today we are going to learn about fuels, the fuels we use. Okay, fuels we use. We also use different kinds of fuels. So let us learn about fuels. As number 13. Fuels we use. Fuels means a substance that produce heat and release energy. They are called fuels. Example, petrol. Petrol is an example for a fuel. Diesel is an example. Kerosene is an example of a fuel. We can say wood is a fuel. Wood is a fuel. We use wood to cook food. This fuel we use to cook food. Villagers usually use wood, isn't it? Yes, so these are all fuels we say. So today we are going to learn about fuels we use. Okay children? So types of fuels, vehicles without fuel, alternate fuels. These are the topics we are going to learn today. And here Mihika and Radhika comes again for a conversation. Radhika, do you think vehicles also need energy like us? Yes, Mihika, vehicles also need energy and they get this energy from fuels. Yes, we already know that all living beings such as humans, birds, animals and plants all need food to get the energy. All living beings in the earth, plants, animals, human beings, they all need food to eat. Then only they get energy. In the same way, vehicles also require energy to move from one place to another. Vehicles also need energy to move from one place to another place. Where do these vehicles get energy from? They get it from the fuels powered into them. We pour fuels to the tank of the vehicles. As the engines are switched on, when we switch on the car or the bike, the fuel gets burned. This fuel in the tank, it gets burned we say. And to release energy to run the vehicles. So when we burn fuels, it releases energy. So when we switch on the car or bus or bike, the fuel inside it, petrol, diesel, whatever, inside it burns, we say. It burns. It gets heat, it produces heat, and because of that heat, energy releases. And because of that energy, the vehicles move, and this energy gets from the fuels. Thus, any substance that produces heat and energy on burning is known as fuel. Any substance that produces heat and release energy on burning is called fuels. Fuels are used for many purposes like cooking. For cooking we need fuel. We use gas cylinder, isn't it, for cooking. Gas is a fuel, natural gas is a fuel. Running vehicles we need petrol, diesel. And factories also they need fuel for the machines to work. And for producing electricity we need fuel. So fuels we use for many purposes. Okay. So now we will learn about types of fuels. Natural fuels, renewable resources, non-renewable resources are the three types of fuels. So which are the three types of fuels? They are natural fuels. First one is natural fuels. Okay. Then renewable resources. Renewable. The resources that can be renewed again. Renewable resources. Then non-renewable. Those resources that runs shortage, we say only in fixed quantity. We cannot replenish it. Once it is used up. We cannot reconstruct it or remake it. So non-renewable resources. So natural fuels, renewable resources, non-renewable resources, they are the three types of fuels. So which are the three types of fuels? Natural fuels, renewable resources and non-renewable resources. The fuels that occur naturally are called natural fuels. There are some fuels that occurs naturally in the nature itself. They are natural fuels. Coal, petroleum and natural gas are example of natural fuels. Natural gas, that name itself, it is the natural. So it is a natural fuel. Coal, petroleum, these are the examples of natural fuels. Coal, petroleum, these are the examples of natural fuels. Then natural gas also, the gas which we use for cooking purposes, natural gas. These are the examples of natural fuels. They are also called fossil fuels. So these natural fuels, they are also known, these natural fuels also known as fossil fuels. Fossil fuels. And because they have been formed from the remains of dead plants and animals that got buried deep inside the earth millions of years ago. So what are fossil fuels? You know, fossils means dead remains of plants and animals. When years back when plants, animals, they die, what happens? They get deep into the earth. The dead bodies gets deep into the earth, and there they mix up with the soil. So after millions of years, what happens? They mix up and they form some fuels there, or we say they are called petroleum and natural gas. Okay, so these dead bodies of plants and animals buried deep inside the earth, after millions of years, they form called petroleum, natural gas. These fuels, some minerals, we get some minerals, rock salt or minerals, we say. These minerals together forms this called petroleum and natural gas. Fossil fuels are non-renewable sources of energy. Fossil fuels are non-renewable. They are non-renewable. Means they are in limited quantity, or we can say they are in fixed quantity only. There runs shortage. There are these minerals or these resources are not there for all of us to use it very lavishly, or we say if we are using more, overuse, more and more if we are using, if we are not taking care of, or when we use this, then this fuels runs shortage. These fuels are very limited quantity, they are in very fixed quantity. So once if we used up, it is used up. Once if after use it is used up, we cannot reconstruct it again, we cannot regenerate, we cannot replenish it. So they are available in limited quantity in nature and cannot be created once finished. Once finished means it finished. Again to create it takes millions of years, so no time. So this fossil fuels or coal, petroleum, natural gas, they are non-renewable resources. We cannot create it again. Once it is used up, we cannot create it again. But sunlight, wind, water, animal and plant waste are renewable sources of energy. They are renewable because we can create it again. They are there in the nature itself, isn't it? They are available continuously in nature and can be renewed. They are available continuously in nature. Once if we are using again, we can create it again and we can use. So they are available continuously in nature and can be renewed. So the renewable resources are resources that can be renewed. Example, wind, sun, water, plants, animals. These all are examples of renewable resources of energy because we can create it again. They are continuously continuously available in nature. They can be renewed it again. So types of fuels. In types of fuels we have three types: natural fuels, renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Natural fuels means from the word itself we can understand it is available in nature itself. It occurs in nature itself. Or they are also known as fossil fuels. Example, coal, petroleum, natural gas. They are fossil fuels or natural fuels. We get these fuels from the nature itself. Under the earth, when animals and plant waste is buried under the earth millions of years ago, after millions of years ago we dig it and we get this coal, petrol and natural gas. So they are fossil fuels, we say. Fossils means dead remains of plants and animals. So natural fuels are also known as fossil fuels. Example, coal, petroleum, natural gas. Then comes renewable resources, the resources that we can renew it again. They are continuously available in the nature like sunlight, wind, water, plants, animals. They are all renewable resources. And there are non-renewable resources, same as natural fuels or fossil fuels. We cannot renew it again. Once it is used up. We cannot create it again. They are non-renewable resources. They are coal, petroleum and natural gas. Okay. Next is coal. Coal. So it is a non-renewable resources. That coal. Coal, it is black in color, black or brownish in color we say. It is so hard as rock also. That is coal actually. Black brownish color, or it is very hard as rock. So it is called as solid fuel. Coal is a solid fuel. We say this is a solid fuel because it is hard as rock. It is a valuable natural resource. It has very important. It is very important actually. It is very valuable resource. In earlier times, it was used in small stoves called angitis. Angitis. In earlier times, in olden days, people use angitis, a small stove. There they use coal to burn it, okay, for cooking food and warming the homes. To get warmth for the homes, they use coal. They burn it and they get heat. It was also used to run factories and steam engines. In factories also for the production of other materials, they use coal, and also for steam engine to run the train first. The first train used to run by the help of steam engine. There we use coal actually. Now we have electrical train. Before earlier days, train used to run with the help of steam engines. So coal is a solid fuel. It is as hard as a rock. It's a black color. It is in black color, and earlier people use coal for in small stoves called angitis for cooking the food. If there is winter season was more cool, they used coal to warm the houses, and coal is used in many factories and also for steam engine. Then uses. Coal is the largest source of energy to produce electricity. The main use of coal is to produce electricity. For the production of electricity, we use coal. It is used in factories for what? To produce steel, cement, iron, paper, like many other things. So we use coal in factories to produce steel, for the production of steel, for making steel, cement, paper. In all this production, we need coal. The factories were this paper or steel, iron, these all factories, they use coal for making this. Formation of coal. How coal is formed? As I said to you, they are fossil fuels from the dead remains of plants and animals buried millions of years ago. From that we are getting this coal. Coal is formed due to the decomposition of dead plants and animals that were buried under layers of rocks. So decomposition, decaying of the organic matters. When these animals and plant dies, the waste it goes down under the earth. As the waste is all this together form a rock, a layer of rock. Because of this heat and pressure under the earth, what happens? It forms rock, and this transformed into coal in the form of sedimentary rock. We get this coal in the form of sedimentary rock. These all dead remains of plants and animals, these wastes, they under heat and pressure they form a rock called sedimentary rock. It is nothing but coal. It is obtained by digging. Then we dig it. We dig and dig and dig and dig to the deep under the earth using some machines. We dig and we get coal. This process of digging is called mining. Called coal mining, we say. Coal mining, M-I-N-I-N-G, mining, process of digging coal. Okay, important coal mining centers in India are, so these are the centers in India where we get coal. So Jharia, Raniganj, Bokaro, Korba and Dhanbad. These are the places in India where we get coal, or coal mining are there in these places. There we can dig and we get coal. So the remains of or dead remains of plants and animals buried millions of years ago, they form layers of rock called sedimentary rock. That is coal actually. They transform into coal. Okay, that is sedimentary rock, and we dig and dig inside deep inside the earth. It is called coal mining. Through that we get coal. So that is about the coal, the fuel coal. It is a solid fuel. It is a very valuable resource. We use coal for different purposes. For cooking, for production of electricity, it is used in many factories to make cement, iron, then steel, etc. And main use it is for the production of electricity, for cooking. For all these things we use the fuel coal. Okay. So next is about another important fuel or a non-renewable resource called petrol, or we say petroleum. Petroleum, it is a dark colored, smelly, crude mineral oil. When you go to petrol bunk or petrol bunk to fill petrol to the vehicles, there you feel the smell, isn't it? The smell of a petrol. Yes, it's a dark colored, smelly. It has a smell and it's dark colored crude mineral oil. It's a refined or natural mineral oil, we can say. It's a natural mineral oil. It is also called black gold. So petroleum is called as black gold. Another name of petroleum is black gold because its color is dark color. So black color, somewhat black only, and smelly liquid. It's a crude natural mineral oil. It is called black gold. It was made when dead remains of plants and animals got buried under the sea millions of years ago. Under the sea also there are dead remains of plants and animals. We have sea creatures, and sea animals, sea plants. They also die and the buried, the death, I mean the dead remains get buried inside the sea, under the sea millions of years ago. It is found in areas under the sea, area where there is sea, there we can see the reservoirs. It is found in areas under the sea called reservoirs. There we get petroleum. Okay, petroleum also we get from the dead remains of plants and animals under the sea. Near the sea there are some areas called reservoirs. There we find petroleum. Petroleum also we get by digging. Now from oil to petrol, we get petrol in the form of oil first, then we have to convert it into petrol. How? Mineral oil is taken out from the reservoirs by drilling deep wells. We have to drill using some machines. We drill and drill and drill into the deep holes under the sea, and this we get mineral oil. This crude oil is a mixture of many compounds. Then we get crude oil, a natural oil we get. But oil means it contains many compounds, many impurities will be there in that. We have to clean it first. So after getting that crude oil, we send it to some factories or some refining centers or refineries where they clean it, clean the impurities, separate these impurities, and we get many products there like petroleum, kerosene, diesel, etc. So after drilling, it is sent through oil tankers to an oil refinery, through oil tankers where the vehicle is there with a full tank which carry oil. So through that it will we take it to the oil refineries, and there it is processed. They undergo some changes and they clean it. They separate these impurities and refined means clean into various products like petrol, diesel, kerosene, paraffin wax and liquefied petroleum gas. These are the products we get after the refining of the crude oil. So first we get mineral oil, or we say crude oil. When we dig or drill into the sea, under the sea, we get mineral oil or crude oil. It contains many compounds and impurities also, so we have to separate these impurities from it, or we have to clear it or clean it. So it will take in an oil tankers to refineries where it refine or clean it, and we get many products. From that oil we get many products like petrol, diesel, paraffin wax. Paraffin wax is a thing we use in candles. In candles, that wax is the white color substance. It is paraffin wax, we say. We use paraffin wax to make candles, and some creams also, foot cream, hand cream, for all these things we use paraffin wax. Okay, and Vaseline jelly we use for dry skin is refined from petroleum in the form of paraffin wax. Vaseline we use for dry skin, for dry lips we use Vaseline. That is actually paraffin wax. It is a petroleum product. Okay, so it is paraffin wax. And liquefied petroleum gas. Liquefied petroleum gas means LPG. Liquefied petroleum gas, LPG. That is the gas. Liquefied petroleum gas that we use for cooking.